Hey everybody, we're back again. This is Brent at Birth Choice. I'm the founder and the CEO, and with me is Lisa Reasons, the executive director of our adoption agency. And we've been talking about the new adoption agency that Birth Choice is getting started. And so just want to come back and ask Lisa some questions. So Lisa, can you tell the folks basically what the adoptions are going to look like? How's all that going to work at Birth Choice?
Yes, in our previous video, I mentioned that each adoption will be from openness to fully open, and so I know adoptions in decades past all have been closed, but as an adoptee who has received all of my information, I know some adoptees, that's a desire of theirs, some it's not, but with us, for this openness to fully open, each situation and each adoption will be different. That's why the range, but for those birth mothers, after the adoption is finalized, the adoptive family will send in updates and pictures, and so we will keep those, and when that birth mother is ready to receive those updates, she can get those updates, and if she gets to a point where she's ready for a visit, we can arrange those visits and mediate that and navigate that with each person. One thing with these adoptive families, because we want hope and healing for each person in that, in each adoption, is we want to encourage them to be fully surrendered from beginning to end, and as they are parenting this child, also consider the birth mother and to be there throughout the process for her as well. That's not to say that well, each one will look different, but just the surrender in that. And so with our adoptions, we will have, as far as cost, there'll be a minimum and a maximum, and so that will operate on a sliding scale, and it'll be 15% of the previous year's adjusted gross income. And so
which means a family that makes $50,000 a year are going to be considered just as much as somebody making $1 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to matter to Birth Choice how much income that they have.
No, and within those ranges, there's a minimum and maximum, but also because we cannot operate without some cost. We're a nonprofit, but there's lots of cost in becoming an adoption agency. But we will encourage churches to partner and to offset these costs by giving directly to the prospective families, and then also we will connect those families with grants, adoption grants. So potentially it could be not a huge cost. That potential is there, but it will take a great deal of surrender in navigating that whole process for hope and healing for each one involved.
And you had made reference to about types of open adoption, and there's and I know that this just recently happened, but there will occasionally be a woman that will go to the hospital and give birth to a child, and she's not made any preparations, no plans, and she delivers the child, but she really doesn't want to see the child, and she wants to place it for adoption, and she never wants to know anything about that placement, who's going to adopt, or anything like that. And that's what we kind of call, or what I kind of call, like a totally closed adoption. You just, at that point, nobody ever knows anything. And then on the other hand, you've got a totally open adoption, which is what you referred to earlier.
Well, in openness, it's to where people are aware of each other.
Right.
The adoptee will know who their birth mother is. The birth mother will know who their child is with, because the birth mother, the expectant mother, will have the opportunity to choose the prospective family for her child, to raise her child, because it is her choice and she gets to make that plan. But it could, openness could just be an awareness of those things, but fully open is to where it's a relationship among those, which would be an ongoing process and could vary throughout the years, but the great thing is we'll be here to navigate and mediate that with all of them.
That's true.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. So next video, we will talk about the spiritual adoption aspect with physical adoption, and so stay tuned to next week.